What them haters talking about?
What's up, family? I just finished watching the documentary of the killing of Timothy Russell and Melissa Williams. Cold-blooded, fam. Cold-blooded. Murdered in cold blood by Cleveland police on November 29, 2012. Fam. Watching that documentary made my head hurt. And it had a whole lot to do with the obvious lies that were being told. And that same old play that they run over and over and over again. I fear for my life. I forgot to say, I fear for my life. Boy, it's cold-blooded what they did to those people, man. 137 shots. That's the name of the documentary because that's the number of shots that was fired on them. 137 shots fired, all because of a car that backfired as it passed by the police station and a squad car that held an individual by the name of Michael Brelow, one of the worst, Officer Michael Brelow. He's the one that kicked it off. He pursued them saying that he had been fired upon. Mind you, fam, the car backfired as it passed by them. Now, midway through the chase, some 62 police cars pursuing them. I ain't got to tell you how reckless that is already, but 62 police cars pursuing someone at one time or another. These cars were pursuing them, then they fell off. At the end of the chase, they end up in a school parking lot. The cops surround them and start blasting. They lied and said they were fired upon again. No weapon was found in the car. No weapon was found on their persons. There was no weapon found at all. Even after they shot these people and killed these people in cold blood, they try to maintain, some of the officers try to maintain that they ran up on the car and they saw the other squad cars damaged from bullet wounds. And they was just happy that their fellow officers were alive. The reason why these dodo birds had holes in their patrol cars is because the friendly fire from them. The bullets that struck the police cars all came from other police officers. So they got the car surrounded and they're shooting in all directions. So the bullets are going like this here, just going everywhere, every which way. One of the cops, Michael Brelow, one of the worst of the worst, he stood up. He jumped on top of the hood of the vehicle and fired the last 15 shots. The only reason why he fired the last 15 shots is because the others didn't want to shoot him. They didn't want to risk shooting him, trying to shoot the other people in the car who was already clearly dead. But wait, there's more. The reason why the chase happened in the first place is because Timothy and Melissa was fleeing another officer by the name of John Jordan, a black dude, the only black cop who was on the scene, because this guy was up to no good. He had pulled them over earlier. And it was said that this guy had been bullying homeless people, including Melissa. He had allegedly beat Melissa up. So by his own admission, he said that when he pulled them over, he had gotten behind them as they left this center. Both Timothy and Melissa were homeless. They were living at, Timothy was living at a missionary center, and Melissa was living at a women's center. So they're in the car together, they're leaving. This guy gets behind them, and he, by his own admission, said, I got behind him in an unmarked car, and I was just waiting to pull them over for something. I was waiting for a probable cause. And when he failed to signal, that's when I knew. I said, I got him. This dude actually said this in court. That's when I knew I had him. I said, I got him. So when he got behind them, he said that at first they got out of whatever he had them out, but at some point they jumped in the car. Timothy hopped in the car and fled, and he got behind him and chased him. And then he lied and said that he at no point had pulled them over at all. He actually said that he hadn't pulled them over twice. On 2 occasions, he said, I didn't have any contact with them before that night. Now, why would he keep that information to himself if he didn't have anything to hide? If he wasn't up to no good, why would he keep that information to himself? Why would the police officers lie and say that they was fired on, even after they got to the scene? See, it's one thing to say, okay, we thought we was being fired on when the car backfired. It's a whole other thing to actually get to the scene and then lie and say that these people fired at you first. They pretty much just executed these people. Not pretty much, they executed these people. And they went home, all of them. The Michael Brillo dude, he was tried like 18 months later. So he was not 18 months later, like about 18 months later, he was arrested and, on charge of murder. And this dude was acquitted a few months later. He was acquitted. Now, the union president, I forget this guy's name, but he was very, very cocky and confident that this guy was going to beat the case and the rest of them was going to beat it too. He said, yeah, all of them are going to win. All of them. They're all going home. I can guarantee you that. I've never seen anybody that confident. Now, you always hear lawyers say that when they have clients, they'll say, well, we're going to prove that Mr. Such was innocent, and da-da-da, we can't wait to have our case heard. This fool said, I guarantee you he's going on. Yeah, even when he got acquitted. I guarantee, before he, the other ones, when they got charged, I guarantee you that they won't be convicted. Now, 6 of them got fired a few years later. But none of them faced criminal charges except Michael Brillo. That was it. Now, if you recall, fam, Cleveland police are the same ones who killed Tamir Rice. They're the same ones who hopped out within 15 seconds of coming on the scene and blow a 12-year-old kid away who was playing with an air gun. Mind you, that again, they said they feared for their life. And then the guy lied in the Tamir Rice case. The police officer lied and said that he had commanded him to put the gun down. But then he said his window was up. So how in the hell you commanded? When have police officers started commanding people to do something with their window rolled all the way up? So then he had to make adjustments. Well, I can't remember if the window was open or closed. You know, they just lie. They just say whatever they got to say to make it fit the narrative. The police runs America. I used to think the politicians had the most power. But if you're afraid to use power and you're not using power, then you really don't have power if you're not using it. So, I mean, what is it for? The politicians are afraid of the police unions because they want to get reelected. And the police unions all across America are strong. And they vote in blocks. So they say, if you're anti-police, or if you just try to send one of ours to jail, even if he is guilty, even if he did do something wrong, if you try to punish one of our guys for doing something wrong, we're gonna put everybody against you. We're gonna put the whole city against you. We're gonna put all the voters against you. The police unions got too much power. The police got too much power. You know it's a problem when the police do whatever the hell they want to do, and they make the politicians adjust. The politicians aren't making the police adjust. The police make the politicians adjust. And if the politicians don't let the police do what they want to do, the police say, well, we just want police. But they're always on the job, right? They'll say, we want police, but they'll pick and choose when they want to do something. And then they say, see how I told you, y'all need us? And everybody be so scared. They be like, yeah, we do need the police. Better get them what they want. The police keep moving the needle. Like they keep moving the goalposts. They keep on moving it. And this is how they get off, time and time and time again. The politicians are too cowardly to do anything about it. The politicians are cowards. They're cowards. They're afraid to stand up to the unions. Even the president is afraid to stand up to the unions. Just like all these people that's down with this, with this, the NRA, the police union, all of them, they all in the same clique. They kind of swing the same way. And if a politician try to come down on any one of them, the other one gonna have their back. It's a cold game, man. The police, all the other cops, the other 12 cops who were indicted, they all refused to give testimony. They all pled the fifth. One by one, they all pled the fifth. The judge wasn't about jack. I could tell when the trial first started that the judge was going to rule in their favor. A person should never allow the police should never be allowed to have a trial by judge. Never. Because the judge and the prosecutor and the police, they're all on the same team pretty much. I mean, every now and then you'll see a prosecutor really seriously go after the police, but most of the time when prosecutors prosecute police officers, it's just a dog and pony show. They're not serious about really getting justice. It's just a game. They just kind of go through the motions. Okay, jury find, quit it. It's like not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. And then it's a wink, 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 because all of them are on the same team. They all hang out together. They all eat together. They vacation together. They have sex together. They party together. Yeah, they attend funerals together and weddings. They're all on the same team. A lot of them went to school together. So, shit, the public is pretty much on their own, man. The police departments all across America are corrupt, wicked, just full of vile people. And nothing is being done. It is getting worse every day. They straight up executed Timothy and Melissa. They thought they were nobodies. They thought that nobody would care. They thought they was just a couple nobody homeless people, whatever. They tried to paint them as villains and all that stuff. And the family, thanks to, to the family's credit, the family stepped up and said, no, 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 no. They are loved. Cleveland Police Department, man, and Houston Police Department ain't no better. Houston Police Department, Miami, DC, all over America. It's the same clique. It's the same thing. Man, the public ain't got a chance, man. The public ain't got a chance in hell. The family filed a lawsuit and received $3 million. Nothing compared to the loss of life. But it's a cold game, fam. They got another police officer, a retired police officer by the name of Jim Simone. This guy, they call him a super cop. And he has been responsible for killing 5 people. 5 people. The dude has been involved in over a dozen shooting incidents. This will give you an idea of how much shooting you got to do to get to that number. Most police officers don't fire their weapons in the line of duty once. And he's been involved in 12 and killed 5 people. And the police officers call him a hero. They look at him, they call him a legend. He's a legend. Legendary for killing human beings. That's what he do, kill citizens. The Justice Department, they so-called investigated the Cleveland Police Department back in 2015 and told them, if y'all don't clean this thing up, y'all don't fix this thing, we will. I'm still waiting on we will. R.I.P. Timothy Russell. R.I.P. Melissa Williams. No more talk.
What the haters talking about?
Yeah.